And here's the video review for Human Alliance Jazz. I finally found him out at Target today. And also, if you're out looking, check your Targets if you're looking for this guy or any of the other new figures, because most Targets should have done a reset this weekend, yesterday. Sunday, I guess. Every Target in my area has done the reset and are just chock full of all the new figures. They've got all the Power Core, with the Wave 1 Power Core single packs with the Minicons, all the both of the first wave of Power Core 5 packs, all of Generations Wave 1, all of Hunt for the Decepticons Deluxe Wave 1, all of the Hunt for the Decepticons Voyagers, Leader Starscream, Leader Battlehooks Optimus Prime, Battle Ops Bumblebee, Human Alliance Jazz, Legends, everything. I mean, like new movie activators. They had tons of everything. So if you're still looking, check Target. It looks like most of them got 3 cases of Human Alliance, which means 3 Jazz at your local store if they haven't already been bought up. So if you're looking, check Target. That's one of the best places I know right now that have this stuff, if you haven't already found some of this at Toys R Us. Anyway, he does come. We'll get the lamest parts out of the way. He does come with the Human Alliance Lennox figure. He's a tiny little plastic white guy. Not sure how much he actually looks like Josh Duhamel, however you say his name. But there he is. Pasty, armored white guy. I don't really care much for the humans, but he does come with him, so I'm mentioning him there. And his motorcycle, which is he can ride on. It does not turn into RC or Chromia, but we'll get into what this thing does later on in the review. Oh, you're supposed to go off screen. Here's the meat right here, Jazz. And it's a very nice vehicle mode here for Jazz. Very cool. Looks like his car mode from the movie. The Pontiac Solstice there, very silver. Very cool. If you look underneath here, you can see there's not a lot of empty space. And even in the car, like if you open up the doors, there's definitely the interior cab where the figures can sit. But right here is the back of the seats. And like other than that, every inch of this car is packed full of robot bits. This entire back section, there's a lot of economy of space here, because while he's a small car, he turns into one of the bigger Human Alliance figures. And granted, admittedly, that's counting Mudflap and Skids, who are fairly short and bring down the average. But he is a fairly large robot mode, when his vehicle mode is very compact. And they really do a good job of, you can set some figures in there, but every single extra bit of space in this thing is robot bits. And just as a comparison, here he is with Alternity Megatron and with Battle Blade Bumblebee. You can see he's not much bigger than a deluxe vehicle. So yeah, there he is. Very cool. And I find I like this figure very, very well. The engineering of this figure is amazing, which is kind of a surprise because I don't really care for movie Jazz. But I love this figure, so that should say something right there. Anyway, on to transformation. I'm going to go ahead and open up his doors here. And then we're going to pull them back. Hood up here up. There we go. Once that unpegs, we're going to fold this up. And again, you can see just packed full of bits. There's no empty space back here. But we're going to pull this up. Up onto here. It looks like this should... Yeah, we'll deal with that later. Once that's open, we're going to come up here. We'll lift this panel up right here. We're going to pull... We're going to unhook them from here. Then we're going to grab the wheels. There we go. And pull them down just like that. Just grab it by the wheel and pull this whole front quarter panel out and down just like that. So it should look like that. And go ahead and lift the hood up here and go ahead and push that back down like that. They're going to come under here. This should have stayed up. We're going to lift up his head here. Turn it around. We're going to come back here. We're going to take these legs. And like this whole assembly back here just accordions out into his legs and feet. There we go. So you can see this whole section back here now was just the trunk and the rear end of the car. So that's pretty impressive right there. And again, here's a little feature down here. You can flip out these guns on his feet, and you can have your Human Alliance character right on his foot in robot mode. I'm just going to show it off now because, again, it's one of those things that's kind of like, okay, you can ride on my foot, yay. So it's there if you want it, but I don't particularly care for it. Flip those shins up. Come back here, and you want to flip these little heel pieces out. And on the back of the shins here, this piece you want to rotate down and flip around to the side of the leg. Again, rotate down and flip around to the side of the leg. You can, if you prefer, bring it all the way around to the front. If you prefer him to have a silver upper leg, it kind of gives him skinny knees. But yeah, you can put that on the side. You can leave that around the back if you want. It's all personal preference on where you want to put those side panels. The instructions say put it on the side, so that's how I'm going to show you. But you do have some options in how you position that those car bits there, depending on whether you don't like them on the side there or not. And that's the lower half of the robot done. So let's come back up here to the top. And we're going to come up here. This should still be down here on the windshield. We're going to bring this down. You bring this down like this, and then this whole upper body rotates. You want to pull his abdomen out, and then that's going to plug in right here. There we go. Just like that. Now here's his head. Pull the spoiler down. Then you want to rotate the arms down and around like this. And then you come around here. You want to take this piece, rotate it around like that. You have to get your fingernail up in here and pry his hand out. And then you bring this whole panel, just kind of grab the rearview mirror, fold that up and around, and then fold that glass panel down. And then you want to take his hands and split them, rotate one of the pieces, and there you have his little kind of claw hands. And just do the same over here, rotate it around. That, flip the piece up and around, and open up his hand. And you're almost done. Now you want to take these pieces. These pieces can't... So a lot of pictures show these sitting up on his chest like this as guns. The instructions specifically say to kind of angle them up like collarbones. So you can use those however you want. And then you want to pull this middle piece forward and rotate it. And then kind of rotate the headlights up. Now when you do that, it kind of makes his face look like one of the pigs from... Or his chest look like one of the pigs from Angry Pigs. But whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then don't worry about it. And there you have Jazz in robot mode. We just kind of have the fake spoiler back here behind his head. And there he is in robot mode. He's got a lot of posability, a lot of range of motion in all of his joints. So you pretty much pose him. You'll see at the end of the video review, I've got him in like upside down doing like a breakdance move, and I don't have anything supporting him at the end of the video. It's just him on his hands, which is kind of cool. Human Alliance attachment points you can flip up. The instructions don't show up flipping it up. It just says flip this up, flip this gun around, and you can have the dude sitting up here on his shoulder. What it doesn't show you is this brownish piece here actually flips up and forms a seat, and they don't show that seat in the instructions, but you can plug him in and have the gun come up over his shoulder, and you can use that weapon that way if you really want. But again, human, yeah. Flip that down. Let's flip that back down. Like I said, you can have these up on his shoulders as guns if you want. And also he has this really cool, see if I can get this in frame here. His visor. Now I thought this was going to be you had to lift this up to do it, but there's just a little lever here on the back of his head that you pull down like that. And when you do so, you don't actually have to lift up his head. You just there's his face without the visor, and then flip it up, there's his visor. That's all there is to it. Now the mechanic does very quickly lift this up and cause the visor to flip forward and out, but you don't actually have to manually lift that hood. It just flips up and out, which is really, really cool. I prefer visor down. I don't really care for his unvisored face, but if you like it, you can do it. But I like it with the visor down. Alrighty. And finally, his weapon. You want to take this exhaust pipe / missile off of the motorcycle. There we go. And you want to open up these panels right here. You want to take this piece. There's a kind of double hinged joint here in the middle of the bike. You want to straighten that out. And then right here you want to take this piece and rotate it around and flip it out. And then fold this whole assembly down. You take this missile and plug it right into the gun like that. There's a little button right here, where my thumb is. That little circle right there is the launching button that will fire that missile. But anyway, after you do that, you'll see there's a peg on it. You want to open up his arm, close his hand, and fold that back inside there. And then you take this peg and peg it in right there onto his arm. That kind of makes the gun look attached to him, and then you just fold this panel up as much as you can up against the gun. And there he's got his kind of chain gun weapon that he had in the movie. So yeah, like I said, I don't generally care for jazz. Certainly not movie. I mean, I like cartoon jazz. I don't really care much for movie jazz. And also, you can have him if you want. You can have him sitting on the gun while he's firing it. But despite the fact that I'm not a real big fan of movie jazz, I can't argue that this is an amazing representation of the character and a really, really nice, nicely engineered figure, considering all of the considering this big old figure came out of that tiny car. And again, just for comparison, here he is with War for Cybertron Optimus, with Bumblebee there. See if we can get them both in frame so you can see about how tall he is compared. And with just the Generations Prowl, again that's Rapido, but just to get an idea of how big he is in relation to those standard deluxe figures. So yeah, definitely recommend picking them up if you get the chance. Human Alliance Jazz. And again, check Target because they're getting them already in. Human Alliance Jazz.